mastermind behind Before the Six, Del Cowie.
Mastermind, okay. Thank you, Sarah, for the introduction. Thank you all for coming to Before the Six tonight. Basically, the concept of the panel and the series is to bring the history of Toronto's hip-hop scene to the fore at a time when, Toronto hip-hop is actually becoming popular around the world. It's good to also take a look back and see where it came from. But tonight, we have Ladies First, and this panel here, aims to highlight some of the key contributions women have made to Toronto hip-hop, both in the spotlight as artists and also behind the scenes. From the landmark contributions of Canadian hip-hop MCs like Mishimi in the late 80s, through to Femme Fat, Honey Jam, Fresh Arts, and as video directors, DJs, B-girls, women have been artists, influencers, B-girls, movers and shakers, and prominent voices in Toronto's hip-hop scene. Without further ado, I'll hand things over to our moderator, Jemeni.
Thank you.
And enjoy the panel discussion, everybody.
One of the questions we get asked a lot is how we got into the game. I was in high school, and my favorite show was the Power Move show with DJ X. He was very, very kind to my brother. I walked into the station. It's like a bad movie. It's in a grungy basement. TKLM people know it's dark. I didn't know any of the people. It's not like who you know and somebody hooked you up. I was a complete stranger. There were no females there at the time, and I basically walked up to X and said I wanted to be part of the show and I wanted to help out and I loved the show. And he was like, yeah, okay, cool, no problem. Didn't call me. So I, being the extra person that I am, I went back, I bought this huge thing of water and I wrapped it in bows and everything. And I brought it to him, and he was just like, what's happening here? And I was just like, because you are so dry. You didn't even call me. I'm trying to help you. I am not here for this. I just went off. And he actually said to me, my girlfriend is a rhymes with witch. My mother can be a rhymes with witch. These are the type of women I want in my life. You're part of the show. And that was it. For cussing him out, I became part of the show. And it really wasn't at the time about getting a job, because we didn't see anyone with jobs in that field, so we didn't think it was something that could pay. It was just about something I loved doing, and also getting the support to do it. So that is kind of how I walked into the radio part of it.
Deep love for music. My family supported my music addiction and helped me get a little bit of equipment going. And I started DJing and playing out, and I think I was DJing a set somewhere at the CNE. I think it was the CNE band shell. And DTS from the Soul Controllers recognized me and came over, and he said, come over to the show, maybe you can play. And that was a big deal because I grew up listening to the Master Plan show. I also listened to Gem, and I listened to everybody on these shows, and I was like, okay, this is cool. This was nothing that ever came to my mind. But anyways, I went to the show, and I thought I was gonna get on the turntables and play, and he was like, no, not really. You could kind of sit down and watch. It was the building up to becoming sort of an all-round radio personality, being able to actually handle that show if I had to be on it.
High school basically when I got started too. All of us grew up on hearing Fantastic Voyage on 88.1 and wanted to do that. So what I started to do is I started to tape Ron Nelson shows, and then I go and I started a radio show. I played like the Fantastic Voyage Oakwood edition or something like that, and just talk in between them, right? Say what's going on in the school and things like that. And I used to love doing that, but never knowing that being able to do like a little high school lunchtime radio show was going to lead to me ever doing radio. I was emceeing. All of us were basically linking up in high school. So from Mastermind Paul, DJ X, was doing his thing. I think Northern was where he's at, and then me and Power.
Right.
So everybody was hanging at Power's house, and we were all starting to, do a lot of music together and stuff. And then little by little, Paul got his show at CHRY, and then we went on the station at 89.5 Master Plan show. X went on 80.1. So it's an interesting way that it sort of, reached out with everybody coming up together when they were kids. And that was a time of great independence, because there was really no major label support going on in the country at the time, with each other and really supporting each other through college radio and independent labels. So that's just a drop.
Just a drop.
Just a drop.
Just a drop.
That's how I started in radio.
For me, I didn't sort of enter hip-hop. I felt like I was already in the game when I was growing up because of where I grew up. I grew up in public housing in Scarborough, 400 McCowan. And hip-hop was just everywhere. Like my brother, he was a rapper for a group called Citizen Kane. But before that, he was a dancer for Mishi Me. And we used to have everybody coming to our house. Mishi Me, we had Maestro coming in. We had people who were coming in from New York would stop by at our crib. And I say crib because it was like a crib.
Say thank you all for coming, and I also want to say, thank you to everyone here on the panel, the Eloquence, Jemeni, ALISON, Duke, and Motion. And I also wanted to say thank you to Sunshine for bringing us to Jackson for both panels that we had in the series this year.